Hello friends, welcome to Global Online. Friends, in this video we are going to discuss about Central Teacher Eligibility Test 2022. The students who are preparing for Central Teacher Eligibility Test 2022, this lecture is very helpful for you. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about concept of child development. So we are going to discuss some theory concepts. Then we are also discussing 15 MCQs in this lecture. So let us move. And friends, if you are preparing for Central Teacher Eligibility Test 2022, so here the Global Online has come up with complete course for paper 1 and also for paper 2. So for paper 1 we are providing complete theory lectures, complete MCQs lectures and mock test and complete syllabus notes only at the fees 2000 rupees. So if you want to join for this crash course, you can contact 81791384113. So you can just send a WhatsApp message to this, we will respond you. And the same materials are also available for paper 2, complete theory lectures, complete MCQs lectures, mock test, complete syllabus notes at fees 2000 rupees. So if you want to join, you can contact this number. And friends, if you join for both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2, here this crash course is available only at rupees 3000 if you join for both the papers. So for more information you can just send a WhatsApp message to this number, we will give you the complete information. Yes, and also you can download Global Online app from the Play Store for various examination. So let us move to the today's topic. So in this session let us discuss about concept of child development, and this is our lecture number 1 on child development. So in this lecture we will discuss about concept of development and its relationship with the learning. So let us see what do we mean by development process in learning. So development means, yes, as we all know, development, it is the biological and psychological changes that are going to occur in human beings between the conception and end of the adolescence. So as we all know, when a new baby is going to take place, when we see a newborn, yes, the development process is going to start till the end of the adolescence. So as the individual progress from dependency to increasing autonomy, so development, it is a lifelong process. So whenever a new baby is going to take place, the development will start from that point. So individual progress from dependency to increasing autonomy. So this is about development. So it is the biological and psychological changes that are going to occur in the human beings. And it also depends, as it is a process of internal features of human being in collaboration with the external or environmental features. So here in the process of development, both internal features and also environmental features are coming together, and we can see the development in human beings. So the growth that is focused on the study of development of child, it is in 4 areas. One is physical development, second one is mental development. Mental development is also known as the cognitive development. Then the third one is emotional development, and the last one is social development. Yes, these are the 4 major areas of child development. Yes, many times you will receive questions in CTET on the topic development. Then here are age ranges and individual differences in child development. So age ranges is here newborn baby age is 0 to 1 month, then infant from 1 month to 1 year, then toddler we can say 1 year to 3 years, then preschooler 4 years to 6 years. Yes, then school aged children ages 6 to 11, then adolescents, yeah, age 11 to 18. Yes, please remember these years. So now, although the age ranges themselves are in many ways, it is arbitrary. Yes, this you must remember, because cognitive, social, behavioral and intellectual development occurs in each individual in similar way but at different phases, at different rates. Yes, these cognitive, social and behavioral and intellectual, these development Yes, in some children, it may these development may be fast. In some children, this development may take place very slowly. So, in this way, these cognitive, social, behavioral, and intellectual development, these are occurring in every individual, but not at the same pace and same rate. Yes, in each individual, the development process, the speed is different, the rate is different. So, you must remember it. So it is important to keep in mind that some children reach milestones earlier. Yes, just now I told you. Yes, all these the areas of development such as cognitive, social, behavioral, these are developing faster in some children and slower in some other children. So such variation becomes noteworthy only when children show substantial deviation from the average to the average children. If any other children is showing substantial deviation, then the development process will be faster here. So human development involves change, as we all know. Yes, this change occurs at various stages of development, and development pattern at each stage is as predictable by characteristics. So there are various characteristics are there in every phase. Then these individual differences in children personalities, activity level and timing of developmental milestones such as age and stages, the principles and characteristics of development are universal pattern. Yes, all these are universal pattern, but all these development are going to take place at different pace and at different rate in different individuals. So development is based on the following principles. Yes, remember there are some principles for development. The first principle is development. It is a continuous process. Yes, development it is not a static process. It is a continued process. So it continues from conception to until individual reaches maturity. Yes, it is a continuous process. There is no end to the process of development. So although development it is a continuous, yet the tempo of growth is not even, especially during the early years, it is swift and later on it slows down. So initially this development process is very fast, but after some time later on the pace will be slow here. So let us move to the second feature, that is it follows a pattern or sequence. So every individual, whether animal or human, every species follow a pattern of growth, but this pattern is different from each individual. So development tends to proceed from head to downwards. It also proceeds from the center to outward. Yes, please remember. Then the next principle is general to specific. Yes, the development it is moving from generalized to localized behavior, and the growth is occurring from large muscle movements to more refined muscle movements. So the always this development process it is moving from large muscle movements to the smaller muscle movements. For example, you can see here an infant moves the whole of his body at one time rather than moving only one part of it. Then the next principle is different rates of individual growth and development. Yes, neither all the parts of the body grow at the same time, not do the mental abilities of a child develops fully. So different rates are there for each part of the body. Yes, there are different rate of development is there. Yes, all the parts of the body will not develop at the same time, and all these are going to achieve the maturity level at different pace. Yes, hence each individual is different. So each we see each child is different from others. Each child is unique. It may be physically or mentally. Yes, all are different. So the next principle is development. It is a complex phenomena. So all the aspects of growth rate are closely interrelated to each other. So a child's mental development is intimately related to his physical growth and needs. So now let us see concept of development and its relationship with learning. So when it comes to child development or child psychology, it is a branch of psychology. So here the main focus is on the mind and developmental behavior of the children from prenatal period to adolescence. So in child psychology, in child development, it is a branch of psychology, and here we are going to study the developmental behavior, and here we are studying the mind of the child. That is from yes, that is from prenatal stage to adolescent stage. Then here the in child development, it is the knowledge, it is concerned with the biological, psychological, and also emotional changes that are going to occur since birth and extended up to the end of the adolescence. Yes, this you must remember. So here in child development or in the child development and pedagogy, we are going to study the biological and psychological and emotional changes that are occurring since birth, and these changes are extending up to the end of the adolescence. So you receive MCQs on this topic, so please remember. And here in child development, we are going to study the stages of growth and maturation. Yes, there are various stages are there. So all these stages we are going to study here, and it studies the influence of the environment upon the child development. So as we all know, on the developmental process, various factors are there which are going to affect the development, such as environment, heredity, school environment, schools, colleges, society. Yes, all these various factors which are going to affect the developmental process. So all these factors we will study in the child development. So then there is an interaction between child and society, mental processes of the child and individual differences. So each individual is unique, individual is different from the others. Yes, all these, and each and here in child development we are going to study child and society. So we are going to study the mental process, and there is an interaction, there is an interrelation between child and society, because the child's behavior, it is completely dependent on the society. So mental process of the child and individual differences, these are also interrelated here. So child development, it is concerned with infants and children. So here in child development we are going to study about the children here. So for knowing what to expect at what age of development, it is known as the child development. And child development, it is going to give a vision to manipulate undesirable emotions, attitudes, and values among the children. So and also we are going to study the socialization process here, how the children are going to behave in the society, how the society is going to influence on their development process, how the children are going to develop their personality, and what are the factors associated with this developmental process. Yes, I told you various factors are there, such as schools, college, environment, all these, family, friends, all these factors are going to affect on the developmental process. So all these factors here. Then this is the child psychology or child development. It is closely connected with the pedagogy, age morphology, and physiology of nervous activity of children. And here the knowledge is concerned with both the nature of development and regulation of significant structural, functional, and behavioral changes occurring in children as they advance in the age and maturity. Yes, it means that as the development is taking place, yes, according to their age and maturity, yes, there is a significant changes, there are some structural changes, there are some functional behavioral changes which we are observing in the child development. So then it is concerned with the interpreting and predicting the developmental features of an individual. Yes, each individual is unique, each individual is going to perform in a different stage. So now let us see some methods of child study here. So there are various methods are there to study the child development. So some methods we are going to look today. So the first one is systematic biographical method. Yes, the first method to study the child development is systematic biographical method. Is systematic biographical method. This is related to William Pryor, Casey Moore, Dr. Major, G.S. Gall and G.V.M. Dever. Sometime you may get a question. A systematic biographical method, it is associated with the following psychologists. So please remember. And here biography of the child is prepared. A detailed description of the day-to-day life of the child is studied here. So in this method, in systematic biographical method, here the observer or the researcher is going to study the in detail behavior of the child. So how he is going to behave in the daily life, what activities he is going to perform, how he is behaving in the society. Yes, all we are going to study here. The total biography of the child is prepared in this method. So here the researcher will observe the child's behavior on daily basis and is going to record the characteristics. He is going to record the changes in the behavior. So every day there will be some changes in the child's behavior. That the behavior changes the researcher or the observer is going to observe here. So I feel if you are preparing for CTET, so yeah, on this unit you will get MCQs. So please aware of this unit. Then child behavior is observed in independent environment. So here the systematic biographical method, the researcher or the observer is going to observe the child in independent environment. So there is no controlled environment. He is observing them in an independent environment. And this method is going to provide detailed picture of the child method. So very clearly with detailed study we are going to study here. So we observe the children of their activities in their daily life. So what are they doing, yes, with whom they are doing activities, with whom they are discussing. So all these each children's behavior we are going to study in this method. And when it comes to systematic biographical method, it is very time consumable. So we need more time to observe the behavioral changes. Then here principle of control is not used. So I told you, yes, here this method is conducted in pre-environment, that is in independent environment. So here principle of control is not used. So here no control is there on the children. So let us move to the second method. The second method is observation method. So observation method means here scientific facts are revealed through observation. So here the researcher or the investigator is going to observe the children. And nature of the observation depend on the problem here. So on which problem the researcher is going to investigate. Based upon that problem, the nature of the observation will be dependent here. So here in observation it means that it is a fundamental in studying the children. So here the researcher is going to study the behavior of the children by observing them. And if the problem is simple, then the nature of observation will be a complete scientific problem will require, and well planning is required. And there are various steps are also there in observation method. For example, first one is observation of behavior. This is the first step here. Yes, here the researcher is directly perceiving or observing the behavior. So in first step, that is in observation of behavior, here we are going to observe the behavior of the students. We are observing their activities. For example, if social behavior of a child has to be observed, so you want to know how the children are going to behave in their society. If you want to study on social behavior of the children, yes, for this we are Yes, for this he can be observed when he plays with the children. So for this, if you want to study the social behavior, then we can observe the children when they are playing with their friends, when they are in the group, then only we will understand the social behavior of the children. Then the second step is recording the observed behavior. So after observation, we should carefully and immediately note down the things. So their activities, their changes in the behavior. So whatever we have observed, we have to record it. So minimum time should be allowed to pass between happening and recording. So very immediately we must record the information. So this is the second step here. And the third step is analysis and interpretation of behavior. So here in analysis and interpretation of behavior, when the notes of behavior are observed or completed, they are analyzed objectively, and also we need to observe very scientifically in order to interpret the behavioral pattern. So after recording the information, next we need to analyze the information. So very scientific, we can use some scientific methods for analyzation. Then the last step is generalization. So in generalization we are coming to the conclusion. So on the basis of analysis and on the basis of interpretation of data collected, we are going to come to the conclusion. So social development and behavior of the children have been described by child psychologists on the basis of generalization only. Yes, so there are some types are there in observation. So the first type of observation is, that is natural observation. So in natural observation, the observer is going to observe the specific behavior of the children in natural setting. In nature is going to naturally is going to observe. So here a child does not become conscious of the fact that he is observed by someone. So child will not come to know, yes, someone is observing me, without informing the child. Here the observer is going to observe him. Means here the observation is taking place in natural setting. So this is the first one here. Then the second one is participant be observation. So here the observer is becoming the part of the group which he wants to observe. For example, now the here it discloses the minute and hidden fact. It means that, for example, if I want to observe social behavior of the child, so what I will do, I will go and play with child and I observe the behavior. Here the observer is also becoming the part of the groups. Yes, I will talk with the child and I will observe the behavior. I will play with the child and observe the behavior. In this way, here the observer is also going to become the part of the observation. So the next one is non-participant observation. So here the observer observes, the observer is going to observe in such a position which least is disturbing to subject under study. The specific behavior is observed in natural setting without subjects getting conscious that they are observed by someone. So non-participant observation means, so here the observer is going to observe the situation and the child will not come to know that he is being observed by the someone. And non-participant observation permits the use of recording instruments. Yes, for example, while playing with the students we can observe and children will not come to know we are the observers. Yes, this is about non-participant observation. Yes, the next type of observation is structural observation. So structural observation means here the observer sets up a form and categories in terms of which he wishes to analyze the problem. Yes, while observing the children or while studying a particular problem, so here the observer is going to set particular forms, set particular categories. So according to those categories, according to the well plan, he is going to observe the children. So this is known as the structural observation. Then the next type of observation is unstructural observation. So here in this method, the observer is going to assume the role of the member of the group. So here this is mainly associated with the participant observation. Here observer will assume the role of a member of the group to be observed. So here the child is observed when he is in class or when he is in the playground. So when he is moving with his friends or when class fellows without knowing that he is being observed. So this is known as the unstructural observation. So these are the various types of observation. So the next method of observation is next type is experimental method. Yes, these are the observational types of observation. So the next type of child study is experimental method. Yes, in experimental method we are going to perform the experiments that may be in psychological laboratory or in the classroom. Yes, we are performing and we are observing here. So here the word experiment, it comes from Latin word experimentum. Yes, please remember experiment, it is the word come from a Latin word. Yes, it is derived from Latin word experimentum. Yes, you can. Yes, just remember experimentum. So experimentum means, yes, it is a trial. It means a trial. And we can experiment here. Here the researcher or the observer is going to perform the experiment with the children. So these experiments we can perform in classroom or outside the classroom or in psychological laboratory and all. For example, the effect of anxiety, the effect of drugs, stresses on human behavior. Yes, the effect of intelligence or participation in co-curricular activity, etc. we can study here. And while performing all these experiments, we try to establish certain cause and effect relationship. Yes, remember, while studying all these situations, we are trying to study the cause and effect relationship. And for this, remember, for this experimental method, we need a experimenter and we need a subject, and also we need a psychological laboratory, and also we need controlled conditions or variables. So next, then here the next method is cross-sectional studies. Yes, sorry, these are methods of child study. Yes, by mistakenly I have written types of observation. These are methods of child study. So the next one is cross-sectional studies. So here these type of studies are observational in nature and are known as descriptive studies, and these are not causal and relational. Yes, and these cross-sectional studies are used to describe the characteristics of the characteristics that exists in a community. And this method can be used to describe the characteristics that exist in a community. And these cross-sectional studies will not determine cause and effect relationship between different variables. And this study is going to take place at a single point of time. It does not involve manipulating variables. And cross-sectional studies are going to allow to look at numerous characteristics at once. For example, age, gender, etc. And it is a little bit expensive and fast. And here in cross-sectional studies, different variables are allowed might correlate with critical variable of interest. Yes, the next one is longitudinal studies. So the next method of child study is longitudinal studies. So longitudinal studies means here the data is gathered for the same subject repeatedly over a period of time. Yes, longitudinal studies are often used to study rapid fluctuations in behavior, rapid fluctuations in the emotions, fluctuations in the thoughts, Yes, for all these purpose we are going to use longitudinal studies, means we are gathering the data for some on same subject repeatedly for to study different behaviors. And longitudinal studies are retrospective, we can look back. So the next method of child study is case history method. So when it comes to yes, all these methods are very important for your central TET examination. So if you are having any confusion here, you can contact you can comment in the comment box. So I believe if you are preparing for CTET, we can follow our course daily. We are trying to conduct classes on YouTube. Then the total, yes, here in case study method, the total history of the subject is traced here. Yes, if we are going to study the complete history of the student in this method. Yes, here the individual's previous knowledge we are going to gather here. Yes, based on his previous knowledge, yes, we are associating based on these certain conclusions we are going to draw. Yes, based on the previous knowledge, based on his previous activities, we are going to give conclusion here. And this method is used in with the criminals. And also for one more example is clinical psychologist uses this method to diagnose the problem of the patient. So whenever we visit hospital, yes, the doctors are going to use this method. So now let us see some sample MCQs on child development here. So here the first question is, what is the meaning of child development? Option A, development in the length, breadth and fatness of the children. Option B, development in the mental and intellectual ability. Option C, overall development of the child. Option D, development of the child. So what is the meaning of child development? Yes, just now we have studied the meaning of child development. So here the right answer is overall development of the child. It is the appropriate meaning here. So in development we are going to study overall, that is physically, mentally, socially, or from all the aspects we are going to study it. So here the second question is, which is the best method of study of child development? Yes, just now we have studied there are various methods are there in studying the child's behavior. So here which is the best method of child behavior, studying child behavior? First one is inspection method, second one is practical method, third one is interview method, and the fourth one is personal study method. Yes, here the correct answer is option D, personal study method. It is the best method of studying child behavior, because in this method we are meeting the child personally, personal care we are going to take here. So this method is very best. So personal study method means it is concerned with the best method of studying child behavior, because in this method we try to study the behavior of a child in all the essential aspects. We are going to analyze the past record of the children and also present position and also future possibilities we are going to study here. So the question number 3 is, which of the following factors are necessary for the overall development of a child? Option A, emotional development. Option B, physical development. Option B, physical growth and development. Option C, social development. Option D, all of the above. Yes, if you know the answer, you can comment in the comment section. Yes, which of the following factors are necessary for the overall development of a child? Yes, these type of questions are arising every year in CTET examination, Central Teacher Eligibility Test. So in both paper 1 and also paper 2, these type of MCQs we can see. So here, which of the following factors are necessary for the overall development of a child? So here the right answer is option D, all of the above is correct. Yes, emotional development, physical development, then social development, all these are necessary for overall development. So for overall development of a child, all the areas of development are necessary. It may be socially, physically, morally, etc. Yes, question number 4. Meaning of the modern psychology is: option A, study of brain; option B, study of soul; option C, study of body; option D, study of behavior. So what do you mean by modern psychology? Yes, modern psychology is study of the behavior. So just now we have studied, so in the development means it is the study of the changes in behavior. So here option D is the correct answer. So in modern psychology we are going to study the changes in the behavior of children or person. It deals with the models of behavior and mental process. Question number 5. Understanding the principles of development of a child helps a teacher in. Yes, understanding the principles of development of a child helps a teacher in. Option A, identifying the economic background of the learner. Option B, rationalizing why the learner ought to be taught. Option C, effectively catering to the different learning styles of the learner. Option D, identifying the social status of the learner. Yes, here the right answer is option C, effectively catering the different learning styles of the learner. So option C is the right here. So effective teaching means it involves understanding of relevant knowledge about students. When teacher has his knowledge about students, the teacher has this knowledge, he can understand the nature of students. So it means that effective teaching means before going to give knowledge, the teacher should understand the behavior of the students. Based on that, the teacher should give knowledge to them, then it will reach very clearly. So question number 6 is: the purpose of child psychology is: option A, to increase rate of learning in by molding behavior. Option B, to apply scientific principles and theories of educational setting. Option C, to study human behavior for new researchers. Option D, all of the above. Yes, the purpose of child psychology is: option A, to increase rate of learning, by molding behavior. Yes, option A is correct. Yes, question number 7. The school will become a true second home for the child. Is option A, its environment resembles that of home environment. Option A, meals are also provided in school. Option C, it helps in the overall development of the child. Option D, it generates the desire to learn. Yes, the school will become a true second home for the child. It means that option A, its environment resembles the home environment. So option A is correct. Yes, the school will also become a true second home for the children. Yes, the teachers take the place of second parent here. They help improve holistically. Yes, there is a coordination classroom environment. So it is going to resemble the home atmosphere. Yes, question number 8. Knowledge of dash will be most significant for a teacher dealing with a class comprising students of mixed age groups. Option A, occupation of their parents. Option B, socio-economic background. Option C, cultural background. Option D, developmental stages. Yes, here the right answer is option D, developmental stages. Yes, knowledge of the development stages of the children will be most significant factor for a teacher dealing with a class of mixed age group. Question number 9. Scope of child psychology is: option A, study of characteristics of infancy stage only. Option B, study of characteristics of conception period only. Option C, study of characteristics of childhood only. Option D, study of characteristics from conception to adolescence. Yes, here the right answer is option D, study of characteristics from conception to adolescence. Yes, question number 10. Which of the following is not correct with reference to case study method? Yes, just now we have discussed case study method. Option A, it is a scientific method. Option B, the method is very complex. Option C, it is simple and cheap. Option D, it gives remedies of problems after knowing the reasons. Yes, here the right answer is option B, the method is very complex. Yes, this is not correct here. About case study method, it is scientific method, it is correct. It is very simple and cheap, it is also correct. It gives remedies of problems after knowing the reason. It is method of very complex, this is not correct here. Question number 11. Observing a child while playing in a school ground, it is an observation of. Option A, it is a formal observation. Option B, it is informal observation. Option C, it is a participant observation. Option D, none of these. Yes, here the correct answer is option B, informal observation. Yes, because observing the child in playing a school ground, it is known as the informal observation. If the child is in a class, then it is known as the formal observation. Yes, observing the child while playing in school ground, it is an informal way of observation because it is more causal observation. Question number 12. Earlier psychology was a part of. Option A, philosophy. Option B, ethics. Option C, logic. Option D, physics. So earlier psychology was a part of philosophy. Option A is correct. Is question number 13. Which is not a child study approach? Option A, autographical. Option B, biographical. Option C, controlled observation. Option D, behavioral rating. So yes, here autobiographical, it is not the child study approach. Yes, biographical, controlled observation, behavioral ratings, all these are child study approaches, but autobiographical, it is not a child study approach. Question number 14. On the basis of child psychology, which statement is appropriate? Option A, all the children are homogeneous. Option B, some children are homogeneous. Option C, some children are unique. Option D, every child is unique. Yes, here the right answer is option B, some children are homogeneous. Yes, on the basis of child psychology, some children are homogeneous. This is most appropriate here. Yes, question number 15. The teacher studies pupils' behavior mainly by which of the following methods? Option A, interview. Option B, experimentation. Option C, case study. Option D, observation. Yes, the teacher studies pupils' group behavior based on experimentation. So option B is correct here. Okay friends, this is about our today's session, and if you are preparing for central TET exam for paper 1 and paper 2, we are providing complete course. We are providing complete theory lectures, MCQ lectures, mock test, complete syllabus notes only at rupees 2000. This is available for both paper 1 and paper 2. If you join for both, this course is available only at rupees 3000. Yes, I wish all the best to all. Thank you.